Here's the thing, I do want to address that first year in the Begrip team, but I don't want to spend too much time on it, obviously, because we don't want to like make half the interview about that, and then the rest is like the next 15 years or whatever. So the brief topic I have is this, because it's an angle I haven't heard people talk about before. So first of all, one thing people don't seem to know is that the WEG tournament you won, what was weird about that was, because it was in Korea, and you had to go there for like a month or 2 months or something, actually all the top teams didn't attend these events. Like, it was always a mixed bag. Like, you had like a few sort of good teams, like, or like you'd have like a good team, but they had a stand-in. It was always a weird setup like that. So one thing that people might not know is, even though it was like a big breakout for you guys to win, I actually know that particular tournament was one of the ones where a lot of the teams felt like who the fuck knows who's going to win these? Like, because no one's ever played in that environment. Like, every tournament before that's like 3 days in one place, and it's a LAN. Like, this is like you're in this TV studio, and then you come back next week. But it's almost like Premier League or something, mate. It was, and by the way, that alone was ruining half the teams, because, like you said about the arguments, mate, like people just getting people to hold it together for a 3-day LAN's normally hard. Try getting some of those teams for a month to live with each other and then play the games. Like, you can imagine it's a very different environment. So on the one hand, you were going to South Korea from Sweden, and then at the end of the year you were going to America for the CPL. So like, nowadays people will take this for granted for us, but back then I'm guessing this was like a fucking really eye-opening year for you.
Yeah, it really was. I took a gamble. That was the year I really went and decided that I want to like gamble everything on Counter-Strike, because when Begrip asked me, and in that same, like when they asked me to, or when they asked our trio from Embrace to join Temple and Robin with me, join Calippo and East Call in Begrip. At the same note, we got invited to WEG in South Korea, and I just said to my parents, it's going to be like a 2 months. I'm going to be away 2 months. I can't go to or participate in school. I want to drop out. I dropped out of school, went to South Korea, and I had no idea what I was getting into, because it was my first international tournament. I never participated in anything else. I was always been grinding those Swedish lands, as we talked about previously. So this was a big breakthrough. I was like absolutely clueless. First time trying to speak English, trying to, like, the whole thing was just immense, like so much information to take in at once. I was 16 years old, I believe. And on top of that, perform against, at that time, like the biggest names. You had like Noah. Fair enough, they didn't have like the full roster. They had stand-ins, but I mean, the player names at that time were like, it was absolutely insane that I was going to play against these guys. And yeah, we did very good. And I think people got surprised that we could compete at that level. And yeah, sad that the team kind of didn't feel this, like we didn't really do much more with the group. Actually, we went to CPL. That's about it. But that win really helped me. I think in that sense that Fnatic then maybe got their eyes.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. By the way, on the CPL topic, the angle on that I would just ask is this. At the time as well, the other angle a lot of fans might not get is, if you're a guy who's just living in Sweden playing small lands, like CPL back then was like the fucking mecca of Counter-Strike, wasn't it? It was like, that's, you remember all the videos of Potty and Heaton and Altspawn and everyone. The joke is, if you're from Sweden, that's almost like, that's how you know you've made it to the top of Counter-Strike, is when you get to that tournament, right?
Yeah, CPL was the most prestige thing you could ever attend, and to win a CPL would be something sort of amazing in that time. At that time, it would have been amazing to win those. So attending one, as I said, that was like, you peaked. Like, this is it, man. You made it, and you are now what everyone strives to be within Counter-Strike. You're attending a CPL. Everybody was even using the CPL GUIs in Counter-Strike. We have the background
right,
CPL.
Yes.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, you're right. I know what you mean. He means like basically you could. There was like a graphical overlay for CS when you set up all your things that they would have to at the LAN. And the joke is, even people who weren't at the tournament, just so they could feel like, oh, I'm a pro. Everyone was putting it on their computer. It's true. That was like the famous like thing to feel like you were cool and laugh.
Exactly. Yeah, but that tournament, but that was a shame because we got. I think in between us winning WEG and attending CPL, I think they had a WEG season 3, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that's what, around that time, even Temple and I even think Calippo at that time said that they don't want to travel anymore. And imagine we traveled once.
That's the first year. Yeah, exactly.
We traveled one time, and they're like, "Nah, shit, fuck this shit, I'm done." And I was like, and this was my breakthrough. Right? We won a tournament. I'm feeling hyped. I want to keep on pushing. Like, we're invited. We can like defend our title here. I think me and Robin and East Call at that time wanted to go, but they were stand fast that no, we don't want to go. And then it was like kind of shady. Like, okay, what are we gonna play? So we didn't really play anything. And then we're like, okay, let's do one last like hooray with CPL, and that was the end of the team. So it was a weird team in that
you
sense.
You did the original Last Dance. Who knew?
Yeah,
it was actually you guys, the original Last Dance. There you go.
Yeah, so it was super weird. And then, but I think at the same time, after that CPL, I think Fnatic reached out and. Yeah, I think that is...
I've got a quick question before the Fnatic stuff, right? This is a weird one, but one thing that used to be really annoying back in the day, right? Because I was, as you can imagine, I was a super nerd, mate. I used to love all the POV demos and all the things. But what people won't know is every demo and movie wasn't on like one big website. In fact, back then, you watch like frag movies. Half the time, you had to go and find that person on IRC and be like, do you have a link on an FTP? Because like, there wasn't websites, there wasn't YouTube. So this will sound weird, right? But back in the day, one thing that used to tilt me, dude, was when you would find a frag movie of a famous player and you were like, oh my god, this is going to be sick, but are you ready? Because you should know where this is going. But then when you download it, you're like, oh, this is before he became famous, because that was what your frag movie was. Do you remember this? Like, and when I saw this frag movie, I was thinking it was going to be amazing, but it's when you were like 15 or something, wasn't it? So I remember watching it being like, this is just all right, like, come on, because you're not even like playing against top players or whatever. Like, I'm not hating it, wasn't that great, was it? Like, it was just all right.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, my first frag movies were absolutely shit. As I said, was like, I guess.
Because didn't you make it yourself from like when you were a kid or something?
That was my brother who made it.
Oh, there you go.
It was just fooling around, and I was like super.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if people don't realize it wasn't even from like pro player. Like half of the clips are on like fucking, I don't know, Prodigy or Aztec or something.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, random bullshit, man. Just random clips.
Along these lines, though, the question is this: at the time before you joined Fnatic, because you know how people are, dude. Like, it's like, think about Simple now. Everyone now is going to tell you they said Simple would be the best from day one, and then you in Hellraisers or whatever. But like, obviously, they're just saying that because he became the best now. It's easy to see now. At the time, at this point in time, when you get picked up by Fnatic, do you think there was actually like, did other people in the scene know how good you are or what your potential is? Do you think people saw it?
I mean, that it's a tough question because we don't have the platforms as we do now either, the way we can talk or get opinions out of everybody. But no, I mean, I don't believe people thought that I would be that good or become like a good asset. When I joined Fnatic, I still think people were a little bit doubtful, even though we won WEG. Like, not everything reaches everybody. People probably didn't even know that I had won a tournament before joining Fnatic, you know? So no, I don't think the expectations were very high on me when I first started playing Fnatic, no.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.